All right, folks, welcome to our Wednesday night series with the IWM Cup Series here on the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Sousa in the booth with Noah Evans, and practice is just about to wrap up here at Echo Park Speedway here in Atlanta. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we've got 38 drivers registered for the session so far. Packed field for tonight's event.
Yeah, we're headed back to another super speedway, and then we'll slow them right back down next week with Coda going to a road course. But this is kind of these guys' last taste of speed for a little while here. This track obviously repaved in 2022, and now pretty much a super speedway, you can call it, with the banking and the speeds that we have here. So we're going to see a lot of that drafting we saw at Daytona, and a lot of these teammates going to have to be finding each other once again.
Absolutely. So again, right now we've got just a minute or so before we go qualifying here at Echo Park, and looking forward to tonight's event. As Noah indicated, it is I guess I call it kind of a baby super speedway, because it's just a mile and a half. Things happen super fast, and unfortunately that makes it that much more complicated here on this track.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see. You don't really have to play tires into it that much. This asphalt's still pretty new. But we're going to have to take fuel into account as well here. That's going to be one of the tougher things. We saw it at the Cup race on Sunday. These guys are going to try to save as much as they can. But it's going to be a little bit easier because of that mile and a half range here. So we'll see how these guys will be able to conserve their fuel tonight. I think that's going to be the key as we go down here to the final couple laps.
So 130 laps tonight with a stage break at lap 43. They do have 4 sets of tires in the pit. There are no fast repairs in this league. You break it, you own it. There are 3 green-white checker attempts today. We're guessing right now our estimation for the fuel window is somewhere between 58 and 65 laps, depending on fuel saving. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, maybe some guys staying out after the stage break, maybe banking on a caution, but I highly doubt anybody stays out after the stage break, but we're going to find out.
Couple drivers still on track, but this session's about to close out any moment here, and that's it for practice, and we'll move on to qualifying.
Yeah, a little bit easier than Daytona here to find your line, and these guys you can pretty much just floor it as soon as you get out of there, but qualifying here really is kind of harder to do. You have that odd-shaped tri-oval that was reconfigured back in the 90s, and it adds a whole other element of this racetrack. Not like Daytona's where you can kind of flat it out. You really have to kind of hug that middle line in the center and go right back down to the inside coming off. So you're going to have really good car control there and just hope your car sticks and doesn't come out from under you.
All right, right now we're looking at, let's see who we got here. Chuck Van Scoik, Leaventon, Pennsylvania here with the GOAT Racing team.
See what that number 23 can do. Had a good showing at Daytona until the last couple of laps and was caught up in the big one. Still finished the race, but and get his tires warmed up here and we'll get rolling.
So there's 2 basic laps for qualifying. Got 1 warm-up lap here. Just trying to figure out just exactly how Chuck's going to attack this. I think here, Noah, the second lap is your fastest lap here at Echo Park.
Well, remember, too, we see him going a little bit slower here. Remember the strategy that was used last week by a couple of the GOAT Racing and the Balls Out Racing guys, going to the back of the field and qualifying, just trying to all get within that same time span so you can kind of all hook up and try to make your way up to the front. So we'll see if they'll use that strategy again here. They really only have 2 or 3 more chances to use this when we go back to Daytona, Talladega, and Atlanta for one more time. But we may see it again. It'll be interesting to see if they can do it. If they can pull it off. At Daytona, it's pretty easy, but here you have a couple more factors than that 2-mile racetrack. Yeah, 3 seconds off the pace. He may be trying to do that.
Yeah, I think that maybe looking for a way to just, and we'll see what the other goat racing guys are doing. Times are beginning to come in here. Okay, most of them are showing back in the, well, I say that, and Aiden Lucas just put it on up in the second position.
Yep.
So see who's out there still qualifying, looking around. The 22 of Ty Bostic on track now. Looks like Ty's got a new paint scheme for tonight.
Yeah, the usual hot contender in the series. He's been close a couple times, even last year. Still trying to find his first this season. Consistent runner, usually you'll see him in the top 10, top 15. But Bostic, a really strong competitor here for the Rockingham native, and it's like his run will be over.
Looking around through the field, and if you're unfamiliar with how iRacing does it, everybody basically comes out at the exact same time. They're all running concurrently, and we can select exactly who we want to take a look at. In that bright number 2 of Todd Merkel, he's still at it, finishing up his qualifying. Look to see who is getting just on the field, who hasn't posted a time. I think we can look at Brian Jones. He's out there. He just started his qualifying attempt.
Brian Jones, the number 4. Trying to make his way out on the track, and we just saw a couple moments ago there was Todd Merkel, finished 8th at Daytona. Good run for him. Last week it was Pileshi, Fisher, and Call. That was your top 3 at Daytona. And for Fisher, it's been these last couple of weeks have been stories of so close so far. Was wrecked coming to the checkered flag in the exhibition race. Passed her on the outside and an out-of-nowhere win by Andrew Pileshi. And now he has to get his way up through this field again in that number 39.
All right, qualifying is coming to an end. Just a few seconds left before qualifying will wrap up here at Echo Park. Just seeing who is left on track. I think Nathan Yarnell is finishing up right now, and that will be the last drive. There are 2 drivers who have not qualified. That's Casey Herschel and Calvin Allison. They're with Misfit Mafia Racing. They're just going to probably just wind up in the back of the field as qualifying pretty much comes to a close.
Good run for Jeff Nairn there in the 27 as well, qualifying P3, Maxwell Caldwell in 4th. A lot of unfamiliar names up in this top 5 here.
Yeah, as soon as the qualifying is over and we get to the broadcast of the race, we'll jump and give you that grid quickly as we can. All right, here we go.
All right, Matthew Greichen P1 and Aiden Lucas P2. That will be row number 1. Row number 2 is going to be Jeff Nairn and Maxwell Caldwell, P3 and P4. Row number 3 is Jared Wishon and Marcus Adams. Row number 4 is Kyle Smalley and Justin Lewis in the number 7. Row number 5 is Cody Sturgill and Bud Shearer in the number 93. And that rounds out your top 10.
All right, in 11th, you got John Ledger with Nathan Yarnell to the outside. In row 7, Jeremy Brown and Austin Call. In row 8, you've got Alex Laney and Chuck Van Scoik. Row 9 is going to be Jordan Weaver and Michael Anthony. And in row 10, Walker Thomas and Sammy Harrell.
Running out the rest of this field, Zach Lindgren in P21 and Todd Merkel in P22. Row 12 is Justin Horton and Luke Bullard. Row 13 is William Corinne and Garrett Johnston. Row 14, Aaron Jackson and Andrew Pileshi, Daytona winner. Row 15 is Brian Jones and Ty Bostic, and that rounds out your top 30.
All right, 31st, you've got Pete Woodrum and David Watts. Row 17 has got Marco Berube and Maurice Burnett. Row 18 is Roberto Ramirez and J.R. Houston. Calvin Allison and Casey Herschel make up the final row here in tonight's grid.
38 cars. A lot of good drivers in here. Names we haven't seen up front a lot of the season, but we're going to see if they can perform under the spotlight tonight for 130 laps. So cars are gridded. We are now rolling. It is Matthew Greichen, the Scottish native in the number 10 machine. And he's ready to roll on this front row. Aiden Lucas is outside, and Jeff Narin. Blazing fast qualifying run for him. He puts himself in a tie with Aiden Lucas. And Lucas gets it by just a couple thousandths of a second. They both had this exact same qualifying time. The only two drivers to have that in this field. Actually, as I say that, I find another one. Thomas and Harold, or Thomas and Michael Anthony tied as well. So that just shows you how close this field is here. I mean, everybody within pretty much less than a tenth of each other.
All right, just to cover quickly while this race is about to be, the qualifying lap is not qualifying. The warm-up lap is completed. Cover quickly our keys to today's event.
Yeah, so obviously pit road entry, they moved this back from where it usually is off turn 4. Find your teammates, hook up with them quickly, and start to make your way up to the front, and obviously staying out of trouble. We had it last week at Daytona. Use your eyes. Keep them on the road.
All right, here we go.
And through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone, we're racing into the Peach State here at Atlanta. Going to lead us down into 1 and 2 here. A big push there for Aiden Lucas for the 94 machine of Maxwell Caldwell. He's going to try to push him to the lead. Will Lucas stick with that outside line? Looks like he will for right now. He'll duck down to the inside. Aiden Lucas is your new leader.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of that swapping of lines here, inside, outside. You can get a little bit of 3 wide here at this track, but it certainly is not as easy as you can do it at some of the super speedways.
Yeah, you can see how shifty everybody is right now. Everybody's still trying to settle in. Some cold tires still on these next-gen Cup cars. Everybody trying to figure out where they are. It is Ford, Chevy, top 3. Lucas, Greichen, Narin, and then Wishon and Caldwell round out the rest of your top 5. A couple balls out racing guys in the 31 and the 5 of Kyle Small. 31 and the 51, of Kyle Smalley and Marcus Adams. And they're trying to get with each other and find their way up to the front. And Goat Racing really split up here.
Yeah, they're all over the board. Goat Racing's got 2 teams out here, and they pretty much are from first to last.
So pretty much everybody still trying to get settled in here. Trying to find their place. It's very early on so far, so aggressiveness really needs to be toned down here. Not a lot of pushing needs to be done, but that's the good thing about Atlanta. You don't have a lot of room to do that. It still kind of races like a mile and a half, but these super speedway guys, these aces, I guess you could call them, still trying to get the best of everybody else.
Well, and even though they've changed the banking, it's made the track faster, it's made it the ability to be more aggressive, but one of the things they did not take away is this track still maintains a lot of the bumps are still there, so it's not as smooth. We'll go on board later with some of these drivers, and you'll see that making your way around here is not as easy as it looks.
No, absolutely not, and this is definitely a huge change for not only Atlanta Motor Speedway, but for these drivers. They've raced on old Atlanta for a long time, and this is really a wrench in that system. So going back to kind of super speedway racing, super speedway style racing, I guess you could call it. But you can see these guys still a little bit spread out, starting to see that mile and a half kind of poke through the new asphalt here at Atlanta.
So the outside line really hasn't been able to put it together. A number of drivers have tried it, and they've backed off and slid down. There's a little bit of single file happening like the first 8 or 9, maybe 10 cars. But after that, mostly still 2x2 back of the field.
Yeah, that's kind of what we saw on Sunday, too. Very early on, that inside line just kind of dominated. Everybody's trying to just stick with each other so they can have the best position to come onto pit road. But right now, it seems to be that outside line not wanting to go anywhere so far. But we may see Matthew Greichen maybe try to... We've seen it a couple times. He keeps trying to jump out there just a little bit. Maybe trying to get a second line started, see who can go with him. We're going to find out here.
Yeah, it looks like he's poking his nose out a little bit, looking for some help. You see the 27 right there behind him of Jeff Nairn saying, is he going to follow me if I go?
It is Greichen, Lucas Greichen, Nairn, Wisham, Caldwell. That's your top 5, and pretty much all of these guys, different teams. It's Goat Racing Customs, Factory HJ, Southern E Motorsports, Elite Motorsports, and 1320 Enterprises. So a whole slew of teams up in front. Caution flag is out.
Caution flies. Andrew Pileshi involved, your winner last week, involved in this incident, along with Garrett Johnston, J.R. Houston, Casey Herschel. A number of guys involved. We'll go back and try to quickly see just what happened here.
Looks like it happened. Yeah, it looks like it started happening with Corinne. He was leading that top line. Yes, let's see here. Yep, there it is right there. So that push there from the 19. We talked about earlier, that outside line kind of unruly so far. Not a lot of grip up there just yet. Ooh.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of drivers involved here. Made basically all collateral damage here.
Heavy damage to a couple cars. You're like Pileshi's going to get out of that just a little bit lucky. He may have some body damage. You can see a lot of hits there, especially for the 8 machine. Boom.
Yep, he got crushed again.
Just a lot of moving around there. Everybody coming down pit road. At least who had damage that time.
Yeah, your first driver on track, Bud Shearer, is there with the 93. He's on pit road with the 19 of John Ledger, 42 Alex Liddy. Number of drivers on may or may not have been involved in that incident, but taking the opportunity with, and it's not a bad plan. You know you've got that caution flying at lap 43. Doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra fuel in the tank.
Yeah, and what's interesting is, too, pretty much everybody who's on pit road right now was either a part of the back of that field or a part of that outside line that was trying to get formed up to go. And they pretty much all pitted. Everybody who stayed on the inside stayed out. So, interesting strategy there by the guys on the outside. Maybe they all kind of see something that this inside doesn't.
Well, that first caution flies here at lap 10. Of our scheduled 1:30. Again, we've got a competition caution for this first stage at lap 43 coming up, just 33 laps away.
Yeah, still just a little bit of a ways to go till we get to that fuel window as well. But it can't hurt to take it so you can kind of outlast that.
All right, so the first 15 or so drivers chose not to pit on that. They think they've got enough fuel on board, which our math says that they do. They're just going to kind of hold out and do what they got to do to make it to that first stage break.
Yeah, I think that's really is what we're going to see. They just kind of want to get that mad dash over with, get that stage break behind them, get their fuel, and then just kind of go. Just be able to race on their strategy from here on out, but I'm sure this throws a wrench in a couple people's strategies.
right. Well, the lights are off on top of the pace car as the field makes their way down the backstretch. About to go back to green flag racing. Again, we appreciate all of you who are tuning in tonight live to the IWM broadcast of the IWM Cup Series here on our broadcast network. Appreciate all of you who are subscribed to our channel. And for those who haven't, if you could, you'll get up-to-date info and links to our events happening tonight. And we're off tomorrow night. We usually have the INRS series on Thursday nights, but tomorrow they're at COTA. We'll pick up next week on Wednesday with the IWM series, and then we'll pick up the INRS series at Phoenix.
Here you go. Start of that West Coast swing. A lot of good tracks out there, especially Las Vegas. Looking forward to that, one of the raciest tracks out there.
Hayden Lucas taking a pretty good jump here, but he'll probably maybe tap the brakes a little bit because that field is about to run up on him pretty quick. Got the 10 car.
Yeah.
That's Matthew Greichen there. He is all by his lonesome on that outside line, looking for a way to get in or for that Caterpillar car to catch up to him.
Yep, and as a driver myself too, you really can start to see when a car kind of has that panic set in of, oh, I'm getting left by myself. I got to either find my people or find a way to get down to that inside line. And so far, he's hooked up with the #1 machine of Walker Thomas, a row of Toyotas there. And he gets his way, trying to make his way down to the inside, and he'll get it there.
Number 10 decides he's gonna jump back in the that inside line, which seems to have a pretty good bit of momentum here versus that outside line.
Yeah, I think it really is too early to kind of start racing double wide here. When you know you have a chance to win in the back there, sure, go ahead and start sending it to the outside. But right now, too early to be wrecking race cars. Just keep your line, hold low, and I mean it's the fastest way around the racetrack. I mean you really just want to be consistent, efficient, and just staying out of trouble. That really is all you can ask for this early on in the race.
So the 27 of Jeff Nairn's looking for a way to poke his nose out and see if there's a way to get around that 34 of Hayden Lucas. Right now you just need to, maybe for a bit here, kind of dog paddle through the stage and then look for opportunities afterwards.
Jeff Nairn there trying to weave and bob his way around that number 34 of Lucas. Really pushing hard there.
Well, stage points matter.
Yep.
We can bring up the results from last week. Show, Andrew Pleshu, we saw earlier involved in that incident, won the race, but you see Michael Anthony right there in second. He won the stage and wound up getting 10 stage points. That vaulted him up to second in the actual point standings.
Yeah, looking at the top 10 finishers in that race, I really don't see anybody besides Austin Call, the 4th place finisher, and Jeremy Brown. They're the only two guys who finished top 10 at Daytona who are in the top 10 right now.
All right, Hayden Lucas continues to lead here, and lap 19 of 130. There are two drivers that are on pit road right now. Luke Bullard in the 3, David Watts as well in the 54, both on pit road.
And there is an outside line starting to form.
There is, actually.
And they are coming up quick, too. They've got a lot of cars with them.
Here, plus 10 plus cars.
Yeah, Thomas, Call, Yarnell, Bostic as well. There's a 14 of Anthony in there. He had a chance to win at Daytona. He's obviously very hungry right now to try to get this win here, but they are trying to storm their way up to the front. Can't quite get that momentum there.
All right, solid racing here underway as that outside line tries desperately to make its way up, but you just saw it. The number 1 of Walker Thomas bails on that line and drops down to the inside line. 55 of, get that right, that's Nathan Yarnell, but there's a challenge here. You saw that Jeff Naren move to the outside, try to see if he can make that work, and he has fallen back.
Yeah, and that may be a strategy here to try to get some momentum to that top side there, but he's lost a lot of spots there. Now finds himself butted up against Ty Bostic in the 22 machine, so he is losing spots rapidly, but he is going to try to fight his way back up to the front.
We also mentioned maybe it's better with the teammate, so Jeff Naren and Ty Bostic, right there, they are teammates as part of Southern E Motorsports. Get a little teammate. Especially if you got practice bump drafting with that teammate, you can trust them.
Yep.
That's gotta, that plays to your advantage.
And the more that I look at it, the more I see the curve in that Chevy nose and start to see the difference that new body's going to make. You haven't seen a lot of Chevys try to start bump drafting each other just yet. Everybody's still trying to figure that new front end out. So 2 Chevys right there trying to bump draft. Maybe that's Naren and Bostic in the 22 and the 27.
Yep. But unfortunately, they are not moving forward. They're kind of slipping back a little bit. They do have a little bit of help back there. I think that's the 14 of Michael Anthony there trying to, he's on the outside as well. But they're not helping. Without being lined up, bumper to bumper there, you're really not going to get any momentum.
Last week's winner, Paleshi, he is in this race. He is not a lap down, so he's gotten super lucky there. He's back in 31st. He's got a lot of nose damage on him right now, but he's still hanging with this lead pack. He's got a couple cars behind him. Just trying to keep up is the main thing. Getting lapped here is going to be really hard to get it back as early as we've had caution.
Yeah, he's back at the tail end of the pack. He's got Maurice Burnett back there with him, and I think J.R. Houston's back there, but yeah, he's finding a way to the front.
Pass for third was just made. That's Kyle Smalley getting by Maxwell Caldwell. Got way, way low there to get by him, and Caldwell now is going to have to find his way back into this inside line here. And thought he had a room there with Cody Sturgill. Sturgill closed that spot up, so now he is the leader of that outside line.
Little shuffling taking place on that outside line as well. And as Noah said, Maxwell Caldwell is out there. He's got a little bit of help trying to figure out exactly who is behind him. Is that Cody Sturgill behind him? No, that's the 11 of Austin Call,
yep,
back there. $15 laps to go, 14 laps to go here at the stripe for the stage 1.
So just heard on the radio from Jeremy Brown about talking about this fuel strategy. They said that these top 5 here, they are running low. So they are getting to that time span just a little bit earlier than we expected here.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense math-wise,
yeah.
But we'll run those numbers one more time. Now, this field does use a 75% fuel. Let's go back and.
The lap car is in the way. That's J.R. Houston and Maurice Burnett. They're going to go way to the top side here. Let Aiden Lucas and Jared Wishon by. In this top 5 here, you have Wishon, Smalley, Brown, Thomas, and a fight for 5th going on right now between Yarnell and Caldwell. And Caldwell trying to lead that outside line. Did not get up there voluntarily. Just got passed by the 51 machine of Smalley.
I think our numbers, Noah, were based on a full tank of fuel.
Okay.
So based on that, running our fuel window is right around 45 to 48 laps per. Now that makes it definitely more interesting with the caution at the stage break at lap 43.
Yeah, and bear in mind too, these front guys have pretty much been running flat out the whole time. So they are burning a lot more fuel than you would be back in 10th or 15th or so.
Well, with 11 laps to go, 10 laps to go, I think they should have enough to make it based on their initial fueling. But it's going to be a little close, but that caution didn't hurt them.
Thomas there. Thomas has done a great job getting back up into this field. Finds himself in fifth place now. And he qualified 19th. Biggest mover so far. He's started 19th, now up to 5th.
Couple other drivers who have made some big moves. Calvin Allison up 22 spots, starting at the back of the field, now in 14th. And Ty Bostic plus 19 up in 11th. And Casey Herschel plus 17, currently now in 21st.
Outside line's gotten a little bit broken up here. There's a 2 car length gap between Walker Thomas and Jeff Nairn in the 27. Usually start finding them in the turns here. So you can see the outside line kind of waving up there. They are really going hard here to try to catch this lead pack here, and they are doing so. Caldwell has led him up to the 3rd place car of Kyle Smalley, and they may be going for it here.
Well, this is the time to do it. You've got 7 laps to go in this point, but they've got a little bit of a problem here. There is a lap down car, a super lap down car. That's the 54 of David Watts right there. And they'll make this 3 wide as they go through these corners.
Yeah, they got the room to do it here, and Watts holding that high side line there. They'll all clear him pretty much. All the room in the world there. They will clear the 54 machine, and we will resume topside racing, but he lost a couple spots there, so now he has to find a little bit more momentum than he did last time.
Aiden Lucas still out in front. Wishon, Smalley, Brown, Caldwell. That's your top 5. But yeah, we're watching the 94 and that outside line try to make a difference here. As we wind down with just 5 to go before the stage. Now the pits will close 2 laps before, and the yellow will fall at the conclusion of lap 43 when the 10th car, which is the last point gaining car, crosses the start finish line.
Yeah, this is going to be a real fight for that here, as we now are pretty much consistently double file here up into the top 3. These guys are really going to be eyeing that spot. Stripe, 4 to go till this break. 3 to go. Really eyeing that spot there. These top 3 guys getting a little bit loose here. Smalley Smalley in the 51 machine doing anything he can. Try to fend off that outside run here. Trying to air block him, but without getting the 46 of Jeremy Brown under him to lose that spot. Like we said, new playoff format, points are going to be everything.
All right, just 1 to go. This is lap 43 again as the cars cross the stripe. The start-finish line will, by the 10th place car goes by, the caution will fly. Abe Lucas holding solidly onto that first place, but he's got a bit of a challenge happening right now. Jared Wishing to the outside.
Yeah, this is big right here. They saw that momentum starting to come, and we are now double file racing.
Jared
and
Wishing.
Caution flag as that Wishing gets it. Wow. Oh, big wreck here. 37 going around. Wow. And that was after the checkup.
Oh, gosh.
Wow, hard hit for Garrett Johnston as well.
Bostic's in the grass. He went around. Justin Horton involved.
Wow. We can go back and take a look at what happened here. It looks like the 10 had an issue there. Greichen. Let's see what happened here.
All right, give me a second. We'll go back and try to play this over here. What a terrible situation right here at the caution. Focusing right now on the 10. Oh, trying to force it. Let's go back and take a. I think that car is looking for a spot that doesn't exist.
Yeah, let's see here. It may have, from what I saw, it happened a little bit later. So So stage is over. All 10 cars are passed. Caution flag's out. Everybody's starting to roll out of the throttle here. And maybe here? Yeah, looks like about here.
Right there, the 10
Ooh.
contacts the 37.
That gets Lewis, and Lewis has had miserable luck.
Give me a second to try and find out where Lewis is here.
Yeah, Lewis will have the best view of that on anybody. See if we can get an onboard here of what he saw. Let's take a look. On board from Justin Lewis here. Stage is over at this point. Caution flag has flown. Rolling out of the throttle and... Ooh. And car in the windshield.
Jeez. All right.
Well, that was eventful.
Yeah.
Not exactly how I expected the end of that stage to be.
No, not at all. Super unfortunate for a number of drivers there who are up front. Pretty good bit there. And unfortunately, we're now going to be, they're still in the pits getting repairs made. Matthew Greichen, he started up at the front and now is sitting back, deeper in the back. He's still on pit road. So,
Oof.
Well, that definitely changes up a good bit of the folks in the top 10 here.
Yeah, and I don't believe Wishing pitted that time. He may have stayed out.
No, he pitted. Yep, he pitted.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it looks like my results have not updated quite yet. So that's probably why that's showing that.
Yep, everybody has pitted this lap. A couple of drivers still remain in the pits. Todd Merkel in the 2. He's trying to get he's got a meatball. And J.R. Houston from Misfit Mafia, he's in the pits. He's got a black flag, trying to clear that.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong car there. I was talking about Roberto Ramirez had that first place spot, and it showed up as Jared Wishing. So.
There you go.
82. So 82 to go here. Still a long ways to go. Not quite halfway through yet. So it'll be Lucas, Wishing Lucas, Call Smalley, Paulwell Naren, top 6 there. So pretty much unchanged top 5 here, minus a couple drivers. One of those including the number 10 who was involved in that last incident. Greichen, he's down in the 28th spot. So here we go, coming to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Off of turn 4, drivers trailing that brake just a little bit here, getting their spacing right. And a push coming from the 11 there. We are back to green.
Austin Call gave a little bump to the 17 to say, hey, let's go, let's go.
Let's go time.
Always the most anxious-filled moments here on these restarts. Just saw a car drop below the double white line there for a second, which is super scary here. That's where the racing surface and the apron meet. It is graduated in some areas, but it can be pretty upsetting for these cars and their stiff frames.
Yeah, it really can be, and that transition there. Whoa, topside move here. Austin Call, what a run he got there. He'll go up to the lead here, and that outside line has really started to come on here. Oh, big check up there in the back. That was Cody Sturgill, Yarnell, and Brown, as well as the 43 machine of Harrell. Not clear, but he did get through it. Almost a disaster there on the front straightaway. We stay green. It is a battle for the lead here. It is Caldwell, Call, and Wishing. That's your top 3 here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the 94 did not maintain that position behind the 11, and that caused them to kind of lose momentum. You saw the 34 of Aiden Lucas drop out. He was there behind the 94 trying to help him out, but he bailed and is back on the inside line, finding himself sitting right now in 4th as that top line begins to creep backwards. I really think the 11, that's Austin Call. He wanted to take that lead away from Jared Wishing at the time, but he was loyal to the 94 who was behind him, and he stayed with him. And unfortunately, that cost him. And as you can see, the 94 has abandoned that high line as well, and he's down on the inside line.
Yeah, and racing's kind of like a game of betrayal, really. I mean, these guys don't have that kind of team comm trust that we see sometimes. They can't really communicate. Hey, I'm going to go down here. Come with me. No, these guys are just, all right, leaving this line. We'll see you guys later. Y'all figure it out. And that's exactly what Caldwell did just there.
Jared Wishing out in front. And that inside line continues to reign supreme here at Echo Park. So based on our math, it looks like the drivers will only need to stop one more time, sometime around lap 90, 95, somewhere in there, and then they'll have enough fuel with a full fuel tank to make it all the way to the end here at lap 130.
Long way to go with fuel mileage still. Lap 56 of 130. Creeping closer to that halfway mark, which is around lap 165, or excuse me, lap 65-ish. Pretty
Very
soon
close.
to be there. There's so much movement going. 3 wide here in the front straight. Oh, we got contact. Call goes around. There goes Harrell in the 43. Big one. Caution flag is out, and that was a hard impact there. Wow. Will we stay green? Yes, we will. Wow. Car's really slow there on the back straightaway, but we'll keep this green. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. That just spooked the whole field. We are miles apart from each other now.
Yeah, trying to find that incident. Not showing up in our watching the 43, trying to make it around. No one went off the track.
Yeah, amazed that wasn't a caution there.
There's a couple damaged race cars on. Let's see if we can find exactly where that was. Let's see if that's back here. Watching that. Watching the 43 of Sammy Harrell there. He's the second black and yellow car right there. There's the contact with the 11 of Austin Call. Both of those have some severe damage.
Yeah, it scared just about that entire field right there.
Yep, major damage. I think Austin Call is done for the night.
Yeah, that was, Call sustained pretty much a blunt end of that there. Is Wishing, Thomas, Smalley, Sturgill, and the 55 machine of Nathan Yarnell. That's your top 5 here, and good run for Walker Thomas today. Qualified 19th. He now finds himself in the second place spot. So far, our biggest mover, Pete Woodrum, qualified 31st. He's up to 14th. He's our second biggest mover so far.
All right, solid run for the 17. Again, that inside line is the dominating. We are single file here, going all the way back. All the way back. Pretty much that's it. We're a single file.
Yeah. I think that definitely spooked everybody. All right, let's not do that now too early in this race to be getting damaged here. Almost halfway, pretty much halfway there through this race. So these guys really just trying to be smart now. I think that's everybody's best bet right now. Just kind of stay out of trouble, keep your nose clean, and not have anything too damaging happen before the night's over.
All right, solid 66, just past the halfway point here at Echo Park in the AutoTrader 200 here in the IWM Cup Series. Right now, your leader, Jared Wishon, out in front. He's got Walker Thomas just behind him, Kyle Smalley, Cody Sturgill, and Nathan Yarnell. That's your top five. And a couple yellow flags so far, one for our stage, the other for an early incident. You've got 28 cars still on the lead lap here. From that last incident, which unfortunately for those drivers did not bring out a caution. Austin Collin and Sammy Harrell both in the pits trying to make repairs.
Yeah, I think that that change, or that caution not coming out, changed a lot here for these guys, and really kind of swapped that pit strategy around here. So some of them may be thankful that the caution didn't come out here and turn contact in the back here. Did anything happen? Looks like we're green still. Call still on pit road as well.
Oh, there's a car going off.
Yep.
Bud Shearer. No caution. It stays green, but he definitely went for a little ride. Go back and see just quickly what happened to that number 8.
Hey, I mean, that's a heck of a save there. I got to give it to him. Definitely, that could have been a lot worse than it was. Looks like he just got loose off the corner.
Yep.
On that yep, we talked about that apron. That was a save. That was impressive. But he's back out on track. That was a moment.
Yeah,
right there. He's remember that one.
He kept it together. Just again, just some minor minor damage to that car from his contact with the wall, but not enough to cause him to need to get to the pits. But certainly, he's going to be trailing this field for a bit. There is another pack back there. So find that other group of cars back here. I think it's led by it's 85 of Zach Lindgren back here with, you've got Calvin Allison, Maurice Burnett, Andrew Palesci. Number of drivers back here trying to keep it together. David Watts is there as well. But they're about 5.5, 6 seconds off from the leaders.
David Watts there almost came down on the pit road. Wasn't quite ready just yet, but it is still off the front. The second line starting to form here. And Justin Lewis, full head of steam, and he is getting a lot of cars out of his way.
Remember, Justin Lewis was involved in that last incident, but he's not worse for wear. Doesn't seem to have any damage on that 7. Finds himself out leading that pack. Is the 31 behind him of Marcus Adams. Justin Lewis has a teammate there, Maxwell Caldwell, who's not far behind. All part of 1320 Enterprises. So far, lap leaders, Aiden Lucas put in clock for 41, Jared Wishing 29, Austin Call, unfortunately he is now on pit road trying to make repairs, and Matthew Greichen, both drivers had led a couple laps here.
Austin Call has officially disconnected, so he will receive a DNF for this race. Unfortunate. Had a good run going there.
Yep, number of drivers. We have had some retirees, as Noah mentioned. Austin Call has retired, as had Todd Merkel, Luke Bullard, William Corinne, and Brian Jones.
And just heard from officials radio, a couple of drivers have received some warnings about dipping all the way below that red apron line there on the front straightaway. That is a track limits violation according to iRacing. All 4 tires across it, you get a violation, but 2 tires, you're all good.
Gotcha. Good info.
Yeah, hearing like it's acting, according to info as well, it also does, especially on the back straightaway, does act as kind of the double yellow line we see at Daytona as well, so no passing below that line. Look at Justin Lewis. Almost to the top of this field here.
Yeah, he's got that good presence of that 31 and 14 behind him have made a huge difference. Again, Marcus Adams, the 31, 14, Michael Anthony, Balls Out Racing. That's the 34 of Aiden Lucas. He's just going a lap down. He's up high.
Yeah, if you'd have told me earlier the 34 is going a lap down, I don't think I'd have believed you. Great head of steam all day.
Yep, it happens. All right, so now we're keeping an eye on the field as we're hitting lap 78 of 130. As we're making our way to about 12 more laps, we'll start to see potentially green flag fuel stops. Things happen quickly here in Atlanta.
They certainly do. One of those tracks, things can unfold pretty quickly.
Well, as much as we saw that 7 car moving up, it's still slipping back a little bit here as Wishin, Thomas, and Smalley holding on to those first 3 spots. I have to say, Noah, good. I don't want to curse the driver. That 64 of Cody Sturgill, good showing. He is currently in 4th.
Yeah, it's been I won't say a quiet day, but it's been a good day for him. Qualified 9th. He's up to the 4th spot now. But consistency is key, and if he can just kind of keep that spot, I mean, points are points. Take them where you can get them.
Absolutely.
It's going so far for the GOAT Racing team. One thing I have noticed about this outside line is it's like there's a wall as soon as they get to 3rd place. That kind of is as far as they can get. I haven't really seen an outside line car, at least mid-race or mid-run, be able to go to that top spot.
Let's ride along.
Going to try to find that.
Yeah, let's ride along with that 2nd place car on that outside line. That's the 31 of Marcus Adams. Curious to see just how the track and the bumps and plays a factor here as he makes his way around. See a huge run there, the big push on the front stretch. I think that's really hard that they're just not able to stay, connected, bumper to bumper here, and that's affecting their ability to push.
Yeah, I think obviously we saw earlier with the pushing and everything that kind of turned some people off from starting to bump draft, I guess is the word you could say, but so far really kind of disconnected here up in this top three. They're all within vicinity of each other, but they're keeping a fair distance between each other.
They're trying to make another move again, but they've definitely got to get connected to make that work. You've got 3 of the Balls Out Racing team in the top 10. Thomas in 3rd, Smalley in 4th, and Michael Anthony in 6th. See the sportsmanship. None of the drivers, I think that was David Watts, who just sees that pack coming, and instead of being an obstacle to their way of getting around, just drops down to the apron and says, "Okay, I'm not gonna get involved in your race. Just go ahead and I'll make my way around."
Yep. Second now, the south side line. I think that's a new record.
They're making a push, that's for sure. Lap 86. Again, we're going to begin to see, though, if this stays green, these drivers are all going to need to come down and get fuel in the next 10 laps. That is super hard to do from that outside line. And no, it looks like that outside line is kind of thinned out. I only see 4 drivers right now, 5 maybe, currently at the front pack on that outside line.
Yeah, and I will say it is impressive they've been able to hold their own as long as they have. But we'll see how much longer they can hold on to it.
And also, you got to configure that maybe there's some things, some strategies being played out here, because the number 1 of Walker Thomas, he's teammates with Kyle Smalley, Michael Anthony. They're on that outside line. I guess you could just kind of take the air off a little bit there and slow down that 17 Wishing to see if they can move up. Here you are.
See if they can.
Will Lewis will get credit for leading that lap, as he now is right there, door to door with the 17.
Yeah, I'm shocked with as little cars as they have. They're working with them. They have been able to do what they've been able to do. That is impressive for that top side line.
Saw the damaged race car on the 37 of Justin Horton. He's on that low line there. He's dog paddling his way around this track. He's got some major front end damage, but they're just going to keep running. That him continuing is, he's right now in 29th position.
Stay way up high there. Let all those guys go by him.
All right, 90 laps complete. That was kind of our internal marker here for when we should begin to see some drivers decide it's time to go. With 40 laps left, that's kind of like the point at which you could pit a little early and have it and have enough fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, and that is something that we talked about in the stage break. Maybe these cautions threw some of these guys off. But if you were on that top side now, you got to be thinking a couple laps out. How can I get down to that bottom line to get ready to hit pit road if these guys do decide to come in? But they have a long way to get down there. A lot of strong cars to go through, too.
You also got to figure those guys on the inside, they're going to have to pit too. Do you just outlast them and hope you've got at least a lap or two? Here we begin to see the first takers now coming down pit road. Drivers on pit road: Sturgill, Van Scoik, Aaron Jackson, Maurice Burnett, Marco Ruby, Aiden Lucas, all the GOAT Racing team drivers on pit road.
A lot of guys coming down here. Quick on pit road, Sturgill, Lucas. Yeah, that outside line kind of knew where they had to go, and Justin Lewis got what he needed. He'll be at the point.
Oh, caution.
Oh, caution.
Caution's out.
Trying to see what it's for here.
It's like Casey right now, the Casey Herschel, Alex Lenny possibly involved. Definitely Casey Herschel.
Yeah, see if we can get a look here. Yeah, there he is. 49, heavy front end damage.
We're watching the replay,
oh,
trying to
it was
see.
a pit road incident. Ooh. Looking back at the yeah. Jeez.
Comes back up off of pit road, unfortunately.
Yeah, look at the hits up front there.
45 involved, the 42 of Lenny, 49 involved. Number of drivers.
Yeah. That's 37. He is locked up.
Yep.
Those front wheels are not moving. So I would say for Justin Lewis, bit of a lucky caution there. Didn't have to do a whole lot of work coming on to pit road to get himself slowed down, leading a huge pack of cars. When you're in first coming on to pit road, you really do run that risk of those guys behind you. Just either straight up just running into you or not checking up quick enough. But he doesn't have to worry about that now. He'll pit leading the race and not have to worry about it.
Yep, 4-tire stop for the 7 of Justin Lewis. Interestingly enough, guess who didn't pit? The 17 of Jared Wishon and the 15 of Garrett Johnson did not come down pit road.
15 most definitely has some
he's got
issues there.
He was involved in that last incident. He has got a meatball. That car is toast.
Is interesting.
I think the 17 is out of fuel.
Yeah, I was wondering why he was on the apron there.
He's getting a push back. He pitted last on lap 45. He is definitely out of fuel. He's got a little bit of help from the 85 of Zach Lindgren. That is a teammate. Hopefully gave him enough of a bump to allow him to get to pit road, get some fuel. All right, tough break for the 17. Man, he was out in front, leading laps, and then not.
Yeah, and I will say I am shocked that it did come to that on pit road, and especially with fuel. I did not think we were that close, because by that point, the window had kind of just opened there.
Well, again, that was our calculation here. How they're actually burning fuel on the track is probably a little bit different, but certainly that that lap 90 was our red flag for something. So, well, the lights
we are getting down to crunch time.
Yeah, we are. The lights are off on top of the pace car. We'll be going back to green flag racing next time by. Again, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast network of the IWM Cup Series. We appreciate those of you who have subscribed and hope that if you haven't, that you will.
See how long that outside line can last here. It takes him about 10 to 15 laps here to start to get that inside or that outside line to go here. So we'll see. And here we go. We're back to green through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone.
Smart play by Caldwell and Yarnell. Justin Lewis and Maxwell Caldwell, those are 13-20 teammates.
See how well they can work together.
Yep, they can hold it together. They could put their team out in front. You got Nathan Yarnell with the Elite Motorsports. They're in third. And then Pete Woodrum up there, Southern E Motorsports, currently showing in fourth.
Yeah, good run for Woodrum so far. Didn't qualify super hot, qualified 31st. He's found himself up in the fourth spot. Kind of saw glimpses of him at Daytona. Saw him up front in the top 10, top 5 a couple times. But he now finds himself up in the fourth spot here with a good chance at it. And he's got Ty Bostic right behind him.
Yeah, well, pretty much Southern E Motorsports, they also field two teams here. They're currently sitting in fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh as well. So you have Bostic, Ledger, and Narron and Woodrum all affiliated together with Southern E Motorsports.
They're in a really good spot right now.
Another name that's made it up to the 12th position, Andrew Pileshi. We thought he was going to be gone from that earlier, that first incident. Look at him now. He is now in 12th plus 16 spots.
Yeah, and he's got a fully repaired car now. There appears to be no damage on that thing, so we may start seeing some flashes here from Andrew Pileshi, last week's winner.
Well, and his two teammates are out in front. That's Justin Lewis and Maxwell Caldwell. He wants to get up there to help him and make it an all 13-20 podium. All right, 102 laps complete, just 29 to go here in the AutoTrader Echo Park 200. Thank you for tuning in to our broadcast tonight. Certainly appreciate those of you who are watching tonight or who may be watching later and in the replay form. Great race, some great clean racing tonight here.
Yeah. And any incident that has been in this race has for some reason been not, I wouldn't say big, but I would say somewhat violent is the word. We've seen a lot of big hits so far, but yeah, like we said, a lot of clean racing, no like overly aggressive moves.
Not yet.
What we've seen, yeah, not yet. We're still not down to 2 to go here.
Yeah, that's when the gloves come off and things change here in Atlanta. That's for sure.
I think I will point out here, SEM guys got a little bit broken up there. They lost their 7th place car of Jeff Narron. I got to give it to that 27. He is determined as ever to make that top side line work. He's got a couple cars with him. He has the 88 machine of Calvin Allison. And he'll have Walker Thomas in tow as well as Marcus Adams in the 31. And he's pulling along the number 25 machine as well. That's Roberto Ramirez. And he got shoved out of the way. We are 3 wide here. A little bit tight. He'll find his way back into that top side.
All right, stage results are in. Just to recap, Jarrett Wishin wins that stage. Aiden Lucas second, Kyle Smalley third, Walker Thomas in fourth, Jeremy B. Brown in fifth, Maxwell Caldwell in sixth, Nathan Yarnell in seventh, Austin Call in eighth, Cody Sturgill in ninth, and Jeff Narron in 10th.
Guys.
Yeah. All right, 25 laps to go here at Echo Park, and continuing out in front, Justin Lewis, who made a great charge coming up to that last at that green flag, what was supposed to be a green flag pit stop, which turned into a caution. But they made a great charge, and he's held on the lead.
Yep, pretty lucky there that happened when it did.
Yep.
Definitely helped him out a lot.
Jared Wishon, who we saw up front before in the 17, is now back in 18th. He had an issue, ran out of fuel, playing a little bit too close to that stage. I think he had enough for the stage. I don't think, not for stage, he had enough for that caution. I don't think he made it in time when the caution flag flew.
Don't think so.
But Wishon is back in 16th spot, so he's making some progress, working his way up through the field. But they're too wide here. Noah back in the pack.
Yeah, they are working on it here, trying to get up to the front. In a Smalley leading the charge this time. Now, from what I've seen so far and have watched, Lewis looks a lot more comfortable on that top side there. Yep, you can see he just goes right up to the top there. A big shove there from Smalley.
Oh, contact in the wall there.
The wall there. Yeah, 14.
Yep, that's his, I'll call it out. That's Michael Anthony who tagged that wall.
Yep. $20 laps to go. And it is already starting to look like some gloves off racing here.
Battles begin. Laps are ticking away here in Atlanta. Typically just 30 seconds or so per lap.
Quick lap times here.
Maxwell Caldwell out in front by a nose here, but we're now 3 wide through the front.
Oh, Smalley into the wall.
Yeah, but that puts Justin Lewis now in the middle. No place to go, no help.
Whoa. And wow. That, I don't know how that was not a caution there. Thomas is just sending it. He is all out, full throttle. He is getting through that. He is determined he'll get through it. I don't think Thomas lifted a single time there in that number 1 machine.
Nope, and he just lost the 7 who was out in front. Now he's dropped back to the inside line about in 5th place. And that has stalled that outside line back pretty far.
Yeah, and Lewis got super lucky there. He didn't lose more than like 20 spots right there. He'll go right back to the top side here. He's still determined. He's still got that one. There's the 45 machine. Take a look back there. He's found his way up back to the front is Jordan Weaver. And the number 45 machine. We've seen a 45 go to victory lane twice in the last 2 weeks in the Cup Series. Maybe to do it here.
Started 17th, currently shown in 9th.
Couple cars back up into the top 10 as Matthew Greichen, your pole sitters, found his way into the 23rd spot right now. I believe he's still a lap down, and Andrew Pileshi.
Well, the 55 of Nathan Yarnell has backed out big time. He was up there in the front, well, at least in the lead pack. He just completely just dropped out of it and fell back.
Yeah, he may be having some fuel issues or something, possibly, because he's way out of the throttle.
Andrew Pileshi now 11th.
I don't quite know what the deal is with the number 10 machine. I don't know if it's updated yet or not. He is up in that spot, but it is scoring him as a 23rd place car.
Yeah, he's shown in, he's a lap down.
Lap down. It is Pileshi there rounding out the top 10 here. A couple SEM guys still in this thing. It is Bostic in the 22, Woodrum in the 87, and Ledger in the 19. That is your Daytona Exhibition Race winner. in the 19, and then he has the Daytona winner right behind him in the 91.
In the event something happens, Matthew Gretchen, I believe, will get the lucky dog position here. He is 1 lap down. But Justin Lewis returns to the point for a moment, battling the 94 of his teammate. You gotta figure there's some communication between those two drivers trying to figure out how best for them to both cross that stripe at the right time.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out here. I mean, they're getting pretty much down to the wire here, getting to almost 10 to go. We're at 11 now. Home stretch here.
Laps ticking away here in Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta for the AutoTrader 200. Your leader, Justin Lewis, door to door with his teammate Maxwell Caldwell. "11 laps to go." You know, things happen so fast at this track, you've really got to think a little bit more strategically as to when you're going to make a move.
Yep.
But they're too wide. Hard to really do anything but ride the pack at this point until that front row spreads out.
Yeah, things can go wrong for you in the blink of an eye.
Well, I think that I'm guessing that 31 of Marcus Adams is going to make a push at some point.
Oh, 100%. We're down to, what, 9 to go now? Yep. Yeah, it's getting down there.
And the same goes with Pete Woodruff. He's back there biding his time. He's right there behind the 94. That's a great position to be in. He's got his teammate behind him in the 22. They could make a move.
Yep. Quite possibly. I wouldn't be shocked if those SEM guys want to get one. They've been close a couple times in the past couple of years or so. They are ready to get that win. And I know Pete Woodrum is for sure. That number 87 is looking strong right now.
Laps continue to tick away here in Atlanta.
We're seeing a lot of pushing. A lot of bumpers being hit. The 94, can he lock it down? Yes, he can. He goes off the bumper of Woodrum. Maxwell Caldwell goes for a little bit of a ride there. What a save by the 94.
He holds it together, but that now puts the 87 down on that low line. But he's losing a little bit of momentum. His teammates need to get behind him and move it. But there you see, that's the 31.
Adams.
Yep, Marcus Adams, balls out racing, drops down to the inside.
Oh, we got a car going around. It's a 45. Big crash in the back there. He's going to take a couple of cars with him. Caution flag is out. Jordan Weaver goes around. The 54 hits the wall as well, trying to avoid it.
David Watts in the 54 involved. He's against that inside wall.
And that is going to change things.
That changes pretty much everything. Right now, it looks like Marcus Adams is scored out in front with Justin Lewis in second and Pete Woodrum in third. We'll see how this all lines up, but we've only got 5 laps to go. We'll go back to green flag racing.
About 2 to go, I think.
Yeah, I doubt. Also show a meatball for the 19 of John Ledger. Let's try to go back and see just what happened here to Jordan Weaver. A lot of damaged race cars trying to make their way on pit road.
Yep. A lot of that was after the fact as well.
What's that, 45 on the upside? On that high line, he's got the 51 behind him. That's Ty Bostic in the 22 to the inside. I think he just gets loose.
Yeah, I think just lost just a little bit there.
There's a 19 of Ledger.
In the Ledger.
A 14 gets tagged. Oh, that's a big hit.
Ooh.
I think that's Jeff Nairn that also gets clobbered there. Could be worse for the 45. It's not terrible.
Yep. Definitely some damage, but not nearly as bad as it was going to be.
See the 94 of Caldwell on pit road. But most drivers did not go in. They did not want to give up position, pretty much with just a handful of laps left.
Yeah, just pop it in fifth gear or neutral and clutch in, and you'll be set for fuel, I think.
I think that's what we're seeing with Marcus Adams right here. He's just cruising around. You can see on that chart to the left, you got he is as high as P1, low as P30. He's led 2 laps. Those yellow dots do indicate where we had cautions here at Echo Park Speedway, and then those little orange bubbles at the tail of the tape. He took 4 tires at one point there at the stage caution and fuel, and then again 4 tires there at that caution around lap 93.
A little shocked to be seeing people taking 4 on me. He had a lot of time there. But shocked we've only seen 2 tire pit stops so far today.
Well, the lights are off on our pace car, which means we're about to go back to green flag racing. We'll take the flag at lap 128, which means there are just 2 laps left to crown a champion.
Yeah, it's going to be a good old-fashioned shootout here. Not quite overtime. I think that caution was just about perfectly timed to where we don't get an overtime finish. But nonetheless, we'll still have that kind of same rule set there.
Number of drivers are racing back, trying to catch the field. They'll do that no problem just before turn 3. And we do have a number of drivers still on pit road. Unfortunately, Jordan Weaver was involved in that incident, is in on pit road, as well as David Watts, Jeremy Brown, Casey Herschel, all from previous incidents on pit road. 21 cars still on the lead lap, including Matthew Greichen, who did win the Lucky Dog and get his lap back.
All right. Here we go. 2 laps to go. A lot of drivers hungry for their first win this season and maybe their first win in this series. Through the Echo Park restart zone, a late race restart there. Lewis going to try to jump down early. Can't quite get there. And a good start for Marcus Adams.
The 87 got a good run too, and his teammate, the 22, dropped right there below him. Helping to push him currently into second. That 7's got no help. Unless he gets in, he's going to fade back.
Yeah, it's crazy how much these cars have picked up speed already. Up to 180 going into turn 3. Off of 2 turns. Here they come.
All right, just 2 laps go. Next time by, the white flag will fly.
Yep. This is it right here. This is crunch time for these guys. They have got to make moves. Here comes Woodrum looking to the outside. Will Bostic go with him? Bostic stays to the inside. And Woodrum needs Lewis to get there. And he needs him to get there fast.
Woodrum does get there. Oh, white flag flies. Whatever happens, happens.
Next flag ends the race. It'll go back to the pylon. Scoring pylon, and whoever led that last lap, or whoever led at that pylon will get it. Oh, but wrecking in the back. We will race back.
Matthew Grayson going around in the back. 31 of Marcus Adams out in front. 22 of Bostic trying to hold on to second or third. 87 of Woodrum there.
Wow.
I think Bostic.
What a big wreck in the back. Good win for Adams. Came on really strong at the end there.
And good showing for Southern E Motorsports as well.
Yeah.
Second and third. Going back quickly, look what happened in the tail end of the field, watching the number 10 of Matthew Grayson. There's 3 wide.
That was a big momentum shift right there and synchronized spinning. Boom, hard hit to the wall.
There's your winner,
good
Marcus Adams.
Yeah. Good win.
Good win for Marcus.
Yeah, came on really strong at the end there. Just kept his nose clean the whole day. I mean, that really is what it came down to. Got his way through the wrecks. Got his way up through this field. And good win for him. Consistent all day. Qualified 6th, finished 1st.
All right, so with that, let's go ahead and look at the results for today's event. There we go.
All right. Adams will be our winner tonight. Ty Bostic and Pete Woodrum rounding out your top 3. Kyle Smalley, Justin Lewis.
Yep, go ahead.
Yep, Kyle Smalley, Justin Lewis round out the top 5. Michael Anthony, Zach Lindgren, Walker Thomas, Jared Wisham, and Maurice Burnett round out your top 10.
All right, Andrew Palashi, good recovery, winds up in 11th with Alex Linney, Bud Shearer, Marco Berube, Aaron Jackson, Jeff Nerin, Chuck Van Scoik, Calvin Allison, Matthew Caldwell, and Nathan Yarnell gets your top 20.
Going down the rest of the field here, it'll be Matthew Greichen, Jordan Weaver, Cody Sturgill, Aiden Lucas, John Ledger, Justin Horton, Roberto Ramirez, J.R. Houston, and David Watts, and Jeremy Brown rounds out your top 30.
And in 31st, Garrett Johnson, Casey Herschel, Austin Call, Sammy Harrell, Todd Merkel, Luke Bullard, and William Corinne, and Brian Jones. That finishes out your field. All right, a couple good notables. Hard Charger plus 20 positions. That will be given to Ty Bostic there. Unfortunately, Jared Wishon did lead the most laps, but unfortunately not the most important one. Fastest lap was turned in by Brian Jones. Unfortunately, he did not really make it through the field, and just a great race tonight, Noah.
Yeah, really a lot of good racing there, a lot of close racing there towards the end, and a fairly good finish there. I mean, almost came down 2 double file there to the finish, but Adams defended well and got the win.
All right, with that, we'll bring into the booth Pete Woodrum with Southern E Motorsports joins us here with a great finish here. Pete, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good to talk to you. Great showing. You really put it together there, and really, I guess we saw you make your move. You wound up somewhere about halfway through the field, really up front, and you stayed there.
Yeah, I like draft tracks. I do a lot of them, but started 31st and made my way through, and I hate that me and Maxwell got together. Probably shouldn't have pushed him in the turn, but that's the only way you're going to keep that lead if they get a run on the outside.
Well, again,
Pete, how much did working with those Southern E Motorsports guys affect your finish there? Do you think you could have gotten to that top 3 without the help, or did it really make all the difference for you guys?
You just got to have somebody push you. I thought Ty was going to go with me, but he went to the bottom when I went to the outside. But it's all good.
Well, congratulations on your P3 finish. Any shout outs tonight?
To my Southern E Motorsports teammates, and all my friends there, and about it.
All right. Well, there's your third place finisher tonight. That's Pete Woodrum with Southern E Motorsports finishing here in P3. And with that, we'll bring in Ty Bostic into the broadcast booth. Ty, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you, sir. How y'all doing?
We're doing great. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Saw you involved in a couple of early incidents, but car didn't seem too worse for wear, but you wound up where you needed to be at the very end.
Yeah, well, not where I needed to be. One spot better would have been even better, but I'll take the second, I guess.
Especially here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you made
usually a big fan of super speedway, so I guess I'll take any good finish.
I know. We've talked for years, and this is not typically your cup of tea, but I think you may have to change it a little bit. Certainly play it out to your advantage.
Absolutely not. I could win every single race I run on the super speedway, and I'll still hate it.
So you made a pretty good move towards the end there, but you kind of went outside your teammate. What were your thoughts there? What was your plan?
Actually, I stayed on the bottom there near the end. I was just trying to stay on the stable line that I knew would work for sure. Throughout most of that race and most of the Atlanta races I've run on this new configuration, the bottom's usually more consistent because the top kind of gets strung out and accordions, and people kind of weave back and forth between using the second, third lane. So in my experience, the bottom's usually more consistent. So I just ended up getting it towards the bottom and just kind of stay there and hook up and push whoever's in front of me as good as I could.
Well, no, that's what we saw tonight, right? That inside line was the way to go.
Yeah, typically the top can be the fastest, but it's so hard to get everybody in line and staying straight and pushing well. So the bottom's usually a little bit more consistent for the most part.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, shout out to everybody that puts on the league. Y'all for broadcasting, Elliot for putting up with everybody, and all my teammates, SCM guys, and all the guys we run with. It was a great time. Good group of guys to run with. A lot of talent in here. It's always a lot of fun.
All right. There's your second place finisher tonight. That's Ty Bostic with Southern E Motorsports coming in. And with that, we'll bring your winner, Marcus Adams, to the booth tonight. Marcus, congratulations on your win tonight here at the Echo Park AutoTrader 200.
Thank you. It was kind of a lot of fun, actually.
Well, that's good to hear. Go ahead, Noah.
You had a really good view of everything there. You qualified sixth, started up first. Well, what do you think the key to tonight was? Was it staying out of trouble early, finding your teammates, getting up there early? What do you think it was?
Honestly, just getting comfortable with the setup. I was wrecking sideways for some reason. I don't know why, but about halfway through, after I figured it out, it was actually pretty fun. Or I figured out how to drive it anyway.
You spent a lot of time in that high line tonight. That really, that was the trickiest part, I think, about tonight's race.
Yes, people couldn't seem to get it going, but me, Mike, and Justin, we got it going, and then later in the end, a few of us got it going as well. Yeah, I mean, I thought the outside did good as long as you had enough people in it.
Well, congratulations on your win. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, y'all for doing the broadcast, everyone who sponsors the league, Balls Out Racing. Pretty sure this is my first time winning in this league with that car. Elite Designs, Diecast fans. Got to shout out the Moo crew, Moo in Misery, and that's about it.
All right. Well, congratulations, Marcus, and we'll see you next week at COTA.
And Ty Bostic for that push on the last lap. He did really good.
There you go. All right. Well, there's your winner tonight, Marcus Adams, here at the AutoTrader Echo Park 200. With that, let's go back and just double check our results here. Noah, any wrap up thoughts?
Yeah, I just think really good run from Marcus Adams tonight. Like he said, first league win, and huge for that team to pick that up as well for Balls Out Racing. A lot of good guys on that team as well, but got to shout out 70 Motorsports. Obviously, had a lot of good drivers there working together. Jeff Nairn almost had that 1-2-3 finish there or excuse me, 2, 3, 4 finish there for them. Just unfortunately got shuffled out just a little too early. He'll end up finishing 16th. But like we said, a great run for that Southern New Motorsports team. Just good racing all around tonight. Really exciting racing, and not a lot of huge incidents like we saw earlier on.
That's right. All right, so from all the folks here at the IWM Broadcast Network, we thank you all for tuning in. Next week, we will be at COTA for our Wednesday night broadcast with the IWM Cup Series, and then Thursday, we'll be in Phoenix with the INRS Racing Series. So for Noah and myself, thanks you so much for tuning in, and good night. We'll see you next week.